I'm not going to raise my voice, all right? But we saw most of you have learned. But in case you haven't heard yet, it turns out that we were absolutely right. Now, you got to keep in mind who I work for. So he's giving me this information, and that's the sarcasm of it, because the whole abortion issue is a hot issue. I, as a man, have no right to talk about it. But I definitely came out and told you, as I've told you before, that there is no way that something like a decision like Roe versus Wade, which has been taught in universities around the globe, something so massive, could be reversed, especially on a Friday afternoon, which is when they do these bullshit activities. Now, just to prove to you how much you're getting duped, they've released it, the facts, slowly. When I say they released it, I mean they're finally admitting to it. What they're claiming now is that it was a draft of the Supreme Court justices speaking amongst each other that if Roe versus Wade ever came up, what their personal opinions would be. And they're trying to investigate the leak to the media. It was apparently leaked to the media, which, as you know, was reported, and you fucking believed it. That is exactly what I said happened the first time. They can't undo Obamacare. They can't simply undo every law that they pass, especially when it's in effect for that long. They just basically gave the impression that the Supreme Court overturns rules. You didn't even see a Supreme Court justice come out and announce it. And then to support that, you have a bunch of lesbians the next morning protesting it in the streets. So you're saying, well, God, it must be real. It must be true. When in the third grade, you would understand the basics of government, even this government, and realize that that's impossible. God, the hell that would break loose if they could just overturn everything. I mean, look at all the shit Trump promised he was going to overturn, and he couldn't even do it. Because you legally can't, he couldn't even get past that law. Now you say, well, what does it really matter anyways? Because abortion should be banned. I'm not for abortion, but what I am for is it's none of my business. It's a woman's right. I know women who have had abortions, and let God deal with it. Fuck man-made laws. We don't need to be making laws. You know, a woman who has an abortion, if you've ever had one, you know the psychological trauma that you go through and are shocked to go through afterwards. It's not used as a birth control. Okay, and the amount of women that have children based off of rape, I don't even know if there's a statistical number for it. It's very low. So that's a weak argument. That's not my point. My point is they purposely used this as an example to show you guys are being fooled. So don't tell me that the media isn't in on it, because someone in the media would have figured out that the Supreme Court cannot do that by law. Now, if guys can run around with guns claiming Second Amendments, I'm guaranteeing you can run around and say, I'm sure there are 50 different procedures, one of which is announcing to the public that they're going to undo a major law that almost defines this country on a Friday evening. But before you can so much as catch your breath, they've got knuckleheads that are either under my control or part of the conspiracy out there protesting it, making it seem like it's real. I know this marketing team. I used to do the same thing. When I had a small business in LA, I was a small business, I was a nobody. But there were all these battles going on, you know, like Stussy versus Mosimo or whatever. But these were smaller companies. Now, I'm a one-man company. I have no money. So I started putting up my stickers everywhere and then crossing them out and putting Fresh Jive, which was $1 million company. So everyone around thought, oh my God, Depression Concepts must be a huge company. Why? Because they're at battle with Fresh Jive. Fresh Jive guys are tearing his signs down. So I get fame from that, and people believed it. Even though Fresh Jive doesn't even know who the fuck I am. Nobody knew who I was. But once it looks like somebody else is tearing it down that's worth a lot of money, you pay attention to it. It's all a mind trick. We study this for years. I don't sit around all day doing drugs for nothing. I watch porno and I study scripture. It's an inside joke. So you got to realize with COVID now, they're selling these vitamins like protect yourself against COVID with little cartoon characters running around. Because it's clear they're now admitting to you slowly, it's slow unconditioning, that you guys got duped. But what worries me more is that why they snap their fingers, speaking of the in-house drive-by, and you just all of a sudden go home. I mean, if a nuclear war broke out, there would still be some idiot selling hot dogs. And I remember the day that they told you there wasn't even one death yet. I was waiting for bodies to pile up on the street. That this thing, which is basically a little worse than the flu. A little worse than the flu, you should try drug withdrawal. That's way, way, way worse than the flu. And you could die. And then with this long-term tested vaccine, long-term tested means 25 years. No country in the world believes the U.S. I hope you know that. Are you watching the media like outside of the U.S.? We don't know what the hell is going on. So these walls that have been built are kind of in our minds, and they're keeping us in. Because vaccines take 5 to 25 years. I mean, just recently it said acetaminophen, if your mother was taking it when she was pregnant with you, might cause birth defects. That takes 30 to 35 years. And you thought that in a few months, because more people than usual got together, they made a vaccine, they gave you water. All they're doing is studying how subservient are these people. Now, if you don't believe me, look it up. There was no reversal of Roe versus Wade. It was a draft. And whoops-a-daisy, we're so sorry. It got leaked to the media, and the media ran with it. Whoops, we didn't know. Yes, they did. As a real story, and you all bought it. And that proves my point. What? As you keep believing these lies, it's like eating junk food. I know all about that. All you do is eat greasy burgers and drink sodas all day. And so your mind can't fucking tell the difference between what's real and what's not. You're having a big problem with that. And it's gonna end up in a huge pinnacle moment where you're really gonna get duped. So don't diss conspiracy theorists, considering every major story in the United States of America has been a fucking conspiracy since we've been born. Everything that's gone on with our generation has been a conspiracy. I mean, if I'm going out with your girlfriend to go, shopping on Thursday night, it's guys and girls night out. Don's just a friend. And you find out I'm having sex with her every Thursday night when we go out. The next Thursday night, if you say, hey, can you guys not have sex this time when you go out? And I say to you, you're a kook, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're so paranoid, you're going to look like an idiot. And you're the one that needs to go into an insane asylum. You need to prove to us that it's not a conspiracy. The fact that you don't bring it up when it looks like one. From these school shootings with these children that look like they're demons and are levitating objects, and you're all worried about the guns. I don't want guns. I never owned a gun. But I'm just saying there's something wrong with these kids. Why is it all these situations go down bad? Even with Sandy Hook. Alex Jones, I don't even like Alex Jones. They're just mad at him because he's proving everyone is lying. He never said Sandy Hook never happened. He's just saying that they're scheming. There's someone else. I mean, wouldn't you want to know that if someone else, an outside invader or something like that, an outside country, is creating a school shooting? That's all he was saying. They showed it in court. And then you want to believe that they gave him $1 billion were given to victims? I mean, if they gave those victims $1 billion because he implied, because he busted CNN with, remember the fake CNN Iraq war thing where they were on the top of the building and how they hired the ambassador's daughter to claim that they were taking babies out of incubators? Do you know about any of this? Or do you remember it? Or is your mind wiped that hard? I mean, I'm serious. We work so fucking hard to be losers and kooks, but to know one thing and one thing only, and that's being messengers. And telling you, you're being so fooled that we don't want you looking at the television. That something coming through the television is doing this to you. And next thing you know, you're going to have dementia, and you're only fucking 32 years old. That's why your kids are staring at cell phones all day. They're getting orders from Gorto. Now, I might be saying this to an extreme. I'm trying to calm down a little bit. But I'm just saying, you want to make fun of conspiracy theorists. You want to make fun of conspiracy theorists, and then it happens, and then you still don't even know about it. You want to call it climate change, when we called it no HARP. We called it chemtrails. And what makes you think you're responsible for it? I think the people who own the oil companies and all that, they would be responsible for climate change. And these climate deniers, as you call them, are very intelligent people. They're not denying that the climate isn't changing. They're saying, who's responsible for it, though? You? Why is everything your fault? You don't own half the planet. Oh, that's right. This is a New World Order thing. It's happening. It's already happening. What do you mean this New World Order thing might be happening? I mean, I don't understand this. Like they say, before you figure it out, you'll be left for dead. This shit's already going down. It's already occurring. So you got to be ahead of the game. And you don't even, once it happens, you don't even hear about it. So look into it. Roe versus Wade was a leak of a draft, and they pushed it across to you as being real law because you Americans are not so smart to know that it was impossible to have that done. Now, I'm doing a big favor for the women right now. Now, I'm not going to get any accolades for it. I'm probably going to pay for it very dearly at night with noises in my room and pains on my leg. Don't ask. It's a long story. But I'm telling you once again, wake the fuck up. And I don't mean wake up like get some butterflies and some kitty cats. I mean wake the fuck up that it is that bad. Something is going on. The evil empire turns out to be the U.S. And Rage Against the Machine wasn't lying because they did a great in-house drive-by, and you believed Roe versus Wade. Now, I'm sorry to the ladies. I'm not trying to yell. I would have been different in another life, but you guys really are blowing it, and I'm sorry that I let you down. Maybe if I was sexier, maybe if I had some more money and I was more successful, maybe you'd believe me. So I'm sorry if I let you down, okay?
All right. In 15 minutes, you guys will probably all be fucking fine with this, okay? So I'll just sum it up this way as fast as I can. That is the most humiliating game in the last fucking 10 years I've been involved with. How can we fucking get picked on the first base? How can you do that? The fuck is that about? What do you think you're fucking with here? This isn't about some goddamn game. This is about our lives. Do you get it? God damn it! Don't you get it? You don't have a choice. When I fucking tell you to take, you take. Don't tell me you don't see it. You fucking look. You understand? I don't give a shit. Like I said, 15 minutes from now, you don't give a fuck. You walk out of here, I gotta live with this motherfucking fucking embarrassing game the rest of my fucking life. I have totally fucking failed you guys. We got beat at every single fucking part of this. Everything. Everything. Infield play, they two-out hitting, everything. Totally fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have totally let you down.
Questions. What exactly it is, who is the owner of this object, considering that they knew about it last night, only shot it down less than 2 hours ago, and they have not yet retrieved that. Should we know more now? Should they know more than they do?
Well, Victor, in this particular case, probably not. You know, there's always the fog of war, and in this case, the fog of the incident. And what we're dealing with is a situation where we're in the wake of the balloon incident that happened, just 6 days ago or so. Now we're looking at something that's very perhaps a little bit different, but somewhat similar. And so out of an abundance of political caution, the craft was taken out because it posed, as General Ryder said, it posed a threat to civilian aircraft and could possibly have also been some type of a collection platform. We don't know that yet, but they decided they didn't want to take this chance again. And as a result, we have what we have at the moment.
Kali Atwood, to you, the question of who's responsible, the words that still stick with me are from John Kirby, and he said, "I have no idea who owns this." What do you know about the efforts happening right now, potentially, to find that out? Of course, the first country that most people think of is China, considering that balloon that just passed over the U.S. a couple of days ago.
You guys really don't know when it's good or bad, when it comes right down to it.
Will you make a promise to us? Will you tell us when it's good?
And I'm promising you right now that you don't know when it's good or bad. You really don't know, because you don't know what we're trying to do. You guys don't look at the films. You don't know what happened. You really don't know. You think you know, but you don't know, and you never will, okay? Just for your own information.
It doesn't really matter how it looks to you at the moment, or maybe even across the years, because you have to. It's an article of faith in some sense. Do you believe that reality is better constituted as a consequence of truth or falsity? If you believe that reality is best constituted as a consequence of truth, then you have a responsibility to speak the truth, and you can't assess the consequences and say, well, that was a mistake, because part of the decision that reality is best constituted as a consequence of the truth is the decision that no matter what happens is the best if it's a consequence of telling the truth. And so that's what I conclude. It's like, this is what happened because I said what I had to say as clearly as I could say it. And that's as good as it could be. Now, whether or not that's good, well, it's good compared to all possible alternatives, all possible realistic alternatives. That's an article of faith as far as I'm concerned. You know, our culture is predicated on the idea that truth in speech is of divine significance. It's the fundamental presupposition of our culture. Well, if you believe that, then you act it out. And you take the consequences. You're going to take the consequences one way or another, you know. So, you want the truth on your side? Or do you want to hide behind falsehood?
2017, and I just want to, we're not going to see much of this. So I just wanted to show you some normal smoke here. This is what you see when it's black. You see how it's black here? This is because this is actually the part of the forest that's burning. And so forest fires normally burn black because there's a lot of carbon. And what happens when you have wood that burns is you get soot. And all that is it's just unburnt carbon because you don't have complete, perfect combustion in these open air, you know, places like this. Open air fires don't produce complete total combustion of materials, which is why this is such an extraordinary thing that we're observing, is that these, and it makes sense that there would be some trees in the outlines of trees left after a fire. Let me show you this. This is a forest fire here, and there's a camera inside here, and you see the temperature here to the left. It goes up to 900 degrees Celsius, and that translates to, I think, 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I want you to watch this over the time. This is real time. I mean, this is just like as the minutes are ticking away here. Okay, see, we've got 3:11 p.m. and so these are just, you know, as the minutes and seconds are ticking by. What I want you to notice is how the peak of the flame temperature, the heat peaks at a certain flash point, and then it continually decreases, even though the fire is still consuming materials, you know, and there's wind here, there's wind blowing in, this is oxygen fed, it's open oxygen rich burn, but the temperature continues to decrease. There's like a flash point that happens, and even though there's wind and it's the oxygen is feeding this, the highest point it's going to reach, it's just under 900 degrees Celsius, okay? Now I want you to watch, and this goes on, but it has there's only so much an open air fire can burn. It's not normal for these things to burn to completion. It's just not normal. They would have to be like in a foundry or forge or a furnace or something where it's got a constant pressure and a constant flow of oxygen. Because, I mean, these things don't last that long. They can't. It's open air. Open air fires burn very quickly and very hot for a very short period of time. And then they kind of go slow. Then they kind of slow down, you know? So let's look at another one here. We're going to take a peek at this one right here. And this one, all I want you to notice is that the temperature that the guy says that things are burning. That's a really super hot fire. Now let's not forget that I showed you earlier that stainless steel and glass and stuff, we're talking 2,600, 3,000 degrees. Okay, so we're talking double the temperature of what we see in an open air fire, just because those materials need to be in enclosed furnaces that are pressure regulated with a constant flow of oxygen. There's just a special formula to getting heat out of burns to get them up to that temperature to melt metal and stuff like that. So this is what is so messed up about this, is that this part here is a black open air fire and they burn black. But look at the look at the smoke that's coming out of this fire right here. Here is not black. This is not black smoke. This is a really big problem. Because absolutely have nothing left This is not a carbon fire. This is the only fire in the whole wide world that's considered a forest fire where the forest did not burn. The forest didn't burn here. All the glass melted. All the structural materials. Or a bathtub. Or a kitchen sink. Well, that might be a kitchen sink. Okay, so I might be wrong. That may be a kitchen sink. I don't know, but there's nothing here. The rest of the stuff is all gone. This is impossible. This is just not normal. Listen to what she says here.
Now, we came up to this neighborhood about an hour ago. Before there were decorative walls in front of the homes, the metal frames, those flames. And all that's left here are the rocks. There were decorative walls in front of the homes, the metal frames that held up the decorative entrances. Now,
the metal frames that held up the decorative entrances, but the metal frames that held up the houses are gone. What on earth has happened here, people? Look at this glow. This is not a normal glow. This is not a normal glow. This is electromagnetic frequencies in this air. This is not a flame. This is not from a flame. See this halo here on the screen over here to the right? This is not there's something in the energy level in this atmosphere that is just completely messed up. Just splattered. It's like this house just disintegrated. And I want you to look at this. There's absolutely nothing left but a garbage can and a ladder. And a water bath for a bird. Look at this truck. You guys, where are the steel beams that held this house together? There's some piping. There's some plumbing. There's some plumbing left right there. Okay, good. So we have some plumbing and we have a hot water heater. Where are the appliances? Now, this is a metal toolbox, you guys. A lot of your husbands and maybe some of you gals out there have these boxes. Look at what's metal. Look at this. How did it get all metal and bent out of shape? How did that happen? How did it get dented? How did it bulge out on the sides here? What happened to this toolbox? This is steel. This thing should not have been disformed. Something turned the materials in this building to just complete nothing. And look at, there are leaves on this little shrub here. This is just really, it's just disgusting. This is just disgusting. Now this one really, you guys, this one, if you guys don't see September 11th all over this, then you guys are blind, because look at this. This is an I-beam. This is a steel I-beam, and it's just completely twisted and bent. These are some sort of weapon, energy weapon. This is something, I don't even know what to say, you guys, but this is not a fire. Metal doesn't bend and split. This I-beam is split in the middle. Look at that. This I-beam is split in the middle. That does not happen in a fire where all the trees, and look at the leaves on the trees are still fine. These are pine trees, people. Pine trees burn, like I said, if you light a cigarette near one too closely, you'll burn the whole tree. Look at this. Let's look at these twigs. How can the twigs be standing and the metal be bent? What the hell happened here? This looks like a ribbon. This cast iron fencing looks like a ribbon. It does not. This is not normal. All the contents of these buildings have disappeared.
So all I'm saying is I'm trying to save humanity. I'm trying to have a future for my kids. The globalists are building a world, in their own words, where normal human life is over. It's a total revolution against the planet itself. It's an elite playing God. And I've done my research, and even 10 years ago, I wasn't like this. I talk about it, I get chills, folks. It's the devil, okay? And the churches aren't going to tell you. It is an alien force, not of this world. attacking humanity like the Bible and every other ancient text says. And you can read the Bible, it's hiding in plain view, folks. It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing. I refuse to fight with everybody. All the stupid racist white people, the stupid racist black people, all the stupid racist Mexicans, all of you. I can't stand you, you're idiots. We're under attack. Everybody's under attack. The elite hate Trump. Let me tell you, if he is a psyop, he's the most sophisticated one I ever saw. And even if he is, he's a revelation of the awakening, and they're having to pull this trick to try to divert us. Doesn't matter. It's part of the awakening. Humanity has got to get off world. We need access to the life extension technologies. Talk about discrimination. Forget skin color. I want the advanced life extension. I want to go to space. I want to see interdimensional travel. I want what God promised us, and I won't sit here and watch Satan steal it. That's the fight. That's the key. That's everything.